At this time of the year now, you'll probably have about 80% of the salmon's actually on spawning now. It's only a short season really, and this is a typical Tyne spawning stream.
You can see all the fish moving about. Look at the fins and the tails over there.
It's nothing difficult for a poacher to take fish off the river at this time of the year. You know, it's easy.
Look at the size of him going up there now. There's a stack of fish in there at the moment, Peter. All spawning, all fighting, all pushing each other off. Like two men fighting over a female. Look at them here. I've never seen this in a Northumberland river before. It's the first time I've ever seen a spawning bed like this.
Well, see, that's the future generations of salmon for the Tyne fishermen.
You're going to find this hard to believe. I did myself, and I only live 15 miles from this unimpressive site. In the 1960s, raw sewage and industrial pollution made the Tyne disgusting. But after a £150 million investment in the northeast, it's now the most productive salmon river in England. Funnily enough, Kielder Water has had a big part to play. It was built for the industries on the three rivers, the Tyne, the Tees and the Wear. But now they've closed everything, all the shipbuilding, the steelworks and the pits.
Well, that's where I started off, down the pit.
So did I. I served my time 6 months and I went to the manager after I'd finished my training. And I said, I'm packing it in. He said, we've trained you. He said, we've trained you. He said, and you'll never get another job in the pit. I said, I don't want another job in the pit. That was too modest for a Charlton. One of the great family names of the northeast. I wanted a place like this, Hesley Side Hall, by the North Tyne at Bellingham, where one of my namesakes, Major John Charlton, keeps the famous Charlton Spur.
The Charltons were one of four grains. These were groups or clans. It's the North Tyne word for a clan. The Milburns, the Dodds, the Robsons and the Charltons. And each one lived in their own peel tower, so that all those who lived in the vicinity were under the umbrella, as it were, or protection of the Charltons or whichever grain they lived near. And when the food got low, the lady of the house brought this and placed it on the table and took the cover off, and instead of meat there was the spur as a sign to the men of the grain to go out and raid across the border so as to fill the larder.
All these legends have been handed down. I don't think this is a legend, I think this is a story and a fact, because practically everything here at Hesley has been handed down from generation to generation. You see, the Charltons have been here since 1343, living in the Peel Tower, which is gone. It was just behind us here. And it's been a thing in the family to hand things down by word of mouth. They may have got a bit contorted from time to time, but I think that it's a genuine story rather than a legend.
Now don't go giving my wife ideas. The Major owns 5 miles of fishing and is justly proud of the Tyne's reputation. This is the main reason that things have improved. Kielder Hatchery. It was built at the same time as the reservoir, and it's transformed the river.
The riparian landowners and the angling associations on the Tyne wouldn't agree to the dam being built unless the hatchery was put here. The alternative was a fish ladder, but Kielder Dam's 172 feet high, and it's doubtful whether salmon would take a fish ladder that sort of height at the top end of the river, because it's September, October time before the salmon reach Kielder Dam, and most of them salmon will have been in the river for 8 or 9 months. So it's doubtful whether it would be fit enough then to jump up a fish ladder that sort of height.
Well, I've fished the Tyne quite a lot. I find the Tyne actually it only fishes well in certain parts.
The Tyne at the moment has about 5 times more sea trout than what it has salmon. And as you know, the Tyne was nearly extinct of salmon just a matter of 12 years ago. But we've built the numbers up now. 12 years ago, the rods were only catching between 10 and 50 salmon a year for the fishing season. Now it's nearly 2,000 a year.
Yes, I've caught 1 or 2 myself. Peter and his men go electro-netting on the North Tyne in November and December to restock the hatchery. From the eggs they'll eventually gather, they also send fish to the Wear, the Coquet, the Tees and even the Tweed.
Most of the salmon that spawn in this area, the eggs will be wasted because of the water temperature from the reservoir, it's actually too warm during the winter.
So you lift the fish out here?
Take them out here and take them up to the hatchery and strip the eggs off them up there.
Right, we'll get on with it. You can start your motor again. How do you know when you got a fish in?
You'll see it splashing the net.
Ah.
Rod fishermen now in our area should be looking for salmon with the adipose fin missing. That's the small fin between the dorsal fin and the tail, because that's the first indication that it might have a micro tag implanted in its nose.
You take that off before you...
When we actually put the tag in, that's cut off, but the fish are anaesthetised at that time. And when they come back as adults, as I say, that's the visual sign that it has a tag in its nose. Now this is a hen salmon with the fin missing. That's
there
the fin
is.
there.
Yeah.
You
That normally would be sticking out about
Aye.
half an inch, 3/4 of an inch.
I'll show you one. If you can
Out
hang
of
on to
its
that,
fin.
I'll just show you one of these here. This is with the
She's gone a bit coloured.
one with adipose fin on. That's the
Yes.
fin on, and that's the fin amputated as a juvenile.
So this is your fish come back.
That's back here, and it's got hopefully the tag's still implanted in the nose. We'll recover the tag, and I can tell you the day, the month, and the year that we released that from this hatchery. And if it's in the Tyne, I can tell you whether we released it in the Reed, the North Tyne, the South Tyne, or the main Tyne.
It's as delicate as that.
We got that from the North Tyne, so the tag will tell me if it's returned right back to the tributary it was released in. If the ones that we've had back, every single one has returned back to the spot where we released them, of the tags that we've recovered so far. Every single one. This is the business end.
I'll leave the experts to do the expert jobs.
She's going well, that one, anyway.
That last salmon we did, you're saying there were 10,000 eggs in it.
10,000 eggs.
And that big hen we did before.
It'll be roughly the same again here. But we'll actually do 2 or 3. And I think there's another couple of hens ready to do there. But again, that's minus our eggs now, like.
Ah, look at that.
So, just fit to return back to the sea, hopefully. Yeah, we just have a couple of cockfish on there now. Well, that's the milt, the sperm, on now, but it'll still not activate until we'll fill the dish with water.
Water.
And just to make sure, we'll try and get another one on. Yeah, that's certainly ample to fertilise them.
He's a lovely big cock. You put him back in the river, he'll go hunting for some more females.
That's it. He'll not go away to sea for another month or 2 yet. But again, that's it. The water added, the eggs will, and the sperm will all activate there now. About 30 seconds and
It's
the
all
whole,
done.
whole thing's done, like.
Now these are all fertilised eggs. They lie in the water there for until next March.
Oh, well, there's about 1,000 pounds worth of eggs in there. There's about 25,000 eggs in each of the baskets there. And we have to check these eggs twice a day, every day, looking for any eggs that's starting to turn white.
You take them out. You were telling me that if that noise is very important at this stage of the development in the salmon egg.
Well, more is the vibration. If you took your hand now and banged the side of there, you'd kill every egg in there. They're very delicate. Once they've been fertilised, up to what you call the eyed over stage. The eyed over stage, you can actually see the 2 little black eyes and the backbone of the fish in there. Once they reach that stage, they become the exact opposite. They're very tough then. But at this stage now, any disturbance will kill them.
So if I went boom,
It'll be 1,000
frighten
quid.
you to death there.
1,000 quid worth of eggs that were wiped out.
And the
straight
work
away.
that's gone into it,
And
of
the
course.
work.
Now those are last year's fish.
These are the eggs that were stripped last year at this time.
And they're all salmon designated for all different tributaries of the Tyne and the Weir,
The teas and the cookers.
Tees and the Coquet.
Uh-huh.
Listen, can you dump a few of them in my pond above my garden?
Aye. Well, they've had the Meals on Wheels service at Kiel the Hatchery for the last 12 months. And as I say, 90% we've reared from the eggs that were taken last year. In the wild, you've been left with about 10%. That's the most salmon you've had in your hand at one go, Jack. I would think.
It is, aye. Look at them, aren't they beautiful? Lovely little things. So what we saw, the stripping of salmon, the milking of them, it's all happening there live.
That's it. Naturally being done on the spawn and stream there.
I think it must just be us fishermen. I love sitting watching things like this. It's absolute magic, that out there. And now we're off to Norway, to the River Okla. They tell me it's a fantastic salmon river. Well, we're going to have a look and see. Norwegians and Geordies have a lot in common. Viking blood, Northern Lights. They come here to do their shopping. And we go there in the summer looking for big salmon, hopefully.
There's your brandy, Mr. Charlton.
Thank you very much.
Will that be something else?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
The service has been terrific. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A thing of beauty is a thing to behold when you watch the guy in the middle of the river there casting a fly. He's actually one of the most famous game fishers in England, well, in Great Britain, if not in the world. Call him Arthur Oglesby. Just watch him when he casts. Very, very, very easily done. Eventually I'm going to go in and stand next to Arthur, and he's going to give me a little bit of a lesson in casting, and we're going to have a little chat. But watch this. That straightens his line. Nice little, and away it goes across the river. Arthur's seen salmon fishing decline right across Europe since he first came here 30 years ago. And he's not at all sure whether restocking the rivers like we've just seen at Keeler is the answer.
Man meddles a lot. You see, when he picks up a hen fish and takes the eggs from it, and then picks up a cockfish and strips the milk from that, who's to say that those two fish would have chosen each other as partners in the wild state? We assume too much. And all right, we're bringing fish back, but we don't know how we're meddling with the genetic side. And these new salmon hatcheries and farms, fish are going to escape from those and they're going to come back. But it's going to completely upset salmon fishing as I know it. Norway has great fascination for me because ever since being a small boy I read about the tales of monster fish that could be caught here. And of course it was largely British sportsmen who reminded the Norwegians of the great resource they had, and they were the pioneers. And on the night of my arrival I got a lovely fish of 46.5 pounds, by far the biggest fish I'd ever caught. Of course that 46.5 pounder came at a moment in my angling life, I think, when I was so enthusiastic. It really was a wonderful milestone in my life, and I was extremely fortunate to have a young cameraman with me, and he shot some black and white film of it, and it hasn't been seen by many people. I even had black hair in those days, and of course it was over 25 years ago now.
This picture was taken on the River Okla in 1969. You've got to guess who it is. Not the gilly, the guy fishing. I'll tell you at the end of the programme who it is. And it's not me. Norway's very, very quiet people. You see, we've seen more people here on the riverbank at the moment than we've seen all the way up the river and all the way down it. They seem to be very private people. And nobody seems to bother you at all here. But if you like peace and tranquility and a bit of river to fish, this is a bit. The best pieces on most rivers are very expensive, and the Orca here is no different. But there are parts here, 150 kroner a day you can come and fish for. You can even camp on the bank. What a lovely week you could have here with a trailer or a camper, a few bottles of whiskey, and just enjoy yourself getting up in the morning and go fishing. Lovely bit of river this. I really will. May come back here myself for a week.
Well, ever since I was a small boy, I've been fascinated by moving water. I suppose a lot of men are basically hunters at heart, and it's one thing hunting above ground, where you can see and you know what sort of quarry exists above ground. Somehow the water has a magic. You don't know what's laid underneath there. It could be a little 6-inch trout, it could be a 40-pound salmon. Here we're looking for a fish now that doesn't feed in fresh water. So what on earth induces it to come up out of the deep water to take this little fly that I'm showing them on the end of my leader? I liken them to a half-sleeping cat, ever the predator, that spends most of its life sort of asleep at the back door, and then a fluttering leaf will go past. And sometimes, and for no apparent reason, the cat will dash up, dab the leaf with a paw and play with it. It knows the leaf isn't edible, but for some reason or other it's triggered off its reflex, its predatory reflex action. And I think salmon are very much the same. They don't need the fly as food, but it triggers off a memory of their rich sea feeding. And I suppose all creatures that hunt have to stay in practice.
But even the Wizard of Harrogate can't catch a fish today. He had a 29-pounder 2 days ago, but for some reason the Ochil's gone quiet. Maybe this is one of the reasons why there aren't so many fish in the river. This is what you call a salmon trap. It's a trap. I forget the name they call it in England, but it's a salmon trap. The fish come up, hit the net, go out, and there's a diamond shape at that end, and they get entangled in the different traps at either end. They're not actually gill netted, they just swim around in there until the bird comes and they'll take the fish out. But these are all up this fjord, all the way up and down this fjord, and they must take an enormous amount of fish. But there it is, swim into it, up to it, into the trap. Boat will come along every couple of hours and take the fish out, and then that is in there virtually permanently, all during the season when the salmon are coming. But there's always some excuse. Salmon are never there when you want them. And yet, only 3 weeks ago on opening day, you couldn't move for them. A lot of people think that casting actually is an easy art. It's not. It takes a lot of learning this, especially when you're fishing with a heavy sinking line. Right. When you've really got to lift it off the water before you start to throw it through. And then let it shoot. And that's the bit I always find difficult, that I keep finishing up with loops instead of shooting it.
A bit more punch.
Yeah.
You're a powerful fella. Give it a bit of umpty.
People say to me, you get excited at football matches, and I say no. Because I watch a football match, I know what's going wrong, I know what's going right, and I'm involved in the game. But it didn't excite me. I sometimes get a little bit angry. And I say, I watched a friend of mine, Justine, die at a football match, and I keep saying to people, I will not die at a football match. But I may die on the river with a big salmon on when I have a heart attack. Right. And they might find me being dragged down the river, but I'll still have hold of the rod. Now salmon generate that sort of excitement, do you find?
Well, yeah, it's a fantastic fish, isn't it? I mean, their life cycle is so phenomenal. They're born in this river, they grow to be, they scratch around for every morsel of food they can find. And then when they're about, depending on the river and the food supply, of course, they've had, when they've found sufficient food, nature suddenly gives them a silvery coat and tells them that they've got to go down to the sea. And of course, in our rivers now in Britain, they could go downstream and find all sorts of filth and pollution in the estuaries, but somehow they get through that, and then they start this vast journey. Until comparatively recent times, of course, a lot of it was uncharted, but now the Danes found some of the sea feeding grounds, and they started scooping them out. But then these fish, miraculously, they grow from little fingerlings in a year to fish a 5 or 6 pound.
4,5 grader, 5 grader og 5
Ja, ja.
grader 6.
Juni pleier jo ikke å være noe fin måned,
Det
eller?
var nesten kuldegrader da vi begynte.
Ja.
Det var like dårlig i fjor på samme tid.
Nei, det var ikke.
Ja. Men det var der oppe hvor Langendal
Det er
fikk
for
fisk.
privaten.
Der var det på tre som gikk på. De må jo kunne være gått opp til Syrstad i dag.
Vi hadde på tre.
Det er lagt.
Kommer en fra Oslo i dag?
Listen, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Totally disagree with
Nice
what
to
you
meet
said
you.
there.
Sit down.
No. Then we have to switch over to English to carry on the good conversation, I guess.
English?
Yeah, you don't
You
talk
speak
Norwegian, do
Norwegian?
you?
Well, a little bit. I'm Geordie. What's happened to all the fish?
Ja, the stay fish there, I think. The stay fish in the pool.
I'm certain.
Still fish in the pool?
Ja,
Oh, yes.
I think
14.3. That's a big fish.
this is 28 or 30 pound.
A lot of taking on the repeller. It just wobbles.
Yes.
This is sinking, very important.
Yes, it's a sinking
And
one, yeah.
sinking.
If
And
the
this-
vein puts it under
That's
the...
usually the better one of them.
And this one's for the day.
I think this best. No, I have taken it with this in the night too.
That's the best one.
I think it is the best.
So, with the aid of a repeller, I joined Leif and Eric for a late night session on one of their favourite pools. You wouldn't believe it, but it's 20 past midnight. We've just started to fish again. But then it never gets dark over here. And we're going fishing all through the night in the daylight. Normally I would have had a few pints and been well wrapped up in bed by now, having had a good night's fishing. It's a strange sensation, but I'm enjoying it. As long as I can get up in the morning. What do you do in the winter?
I go
here?
to ski, slalom,
You go skiing?
skiing.
Skiing. We talked to one of the men, and he said, in the winter here, we go fishing and we make love.
Yes, it's true.
Now in the summer we go fishing and we make love. In the winter,
We do everything in Norway.
we don't go fishing.
No, we make love in the winter time.
Come on, before we fall in.
Come on, my friend.
I'm
You're
okay.
a very nice boy.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
You come back next year,
Yes, I'm going to come back next year.
and I will buy you a drink.
Why not? Why not?
Oh. Yeah,
was
it
good.
said no fish today.
Well, I fished for the last couple of days and I haven't had a pull. Well, but we've had a couple of great days. Thanks very much, Glenna, for looking
Thank
after
you.
us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And the mystery fisherman in the photograph? Did you recognise the fella in the white hat? It is, of course, Prince Philip, here as I said in 1969. I wonder what he caught. Well, see you next week on the Tweed.